Hey, I'm Ilarion, and this is JavaScript web automation course. Today we're gonna write some auto tests for a real website. We're gonna learn some options for running tests, and we're gonna see what options do we have for reporting. As a bonus, we will review some of the auto tests for my pet project. As always, quick follow-up on the previous video. Let's talk about awaiting. Let's go to the docs. Let me remind you that on previous videos we were clicking on some elements or filling some inputs, and for these actions Playwright might throw timeout error. What does this mean? So if Playwright cannot find the element on the page within 5 seconds, it's configurable, but default is 5 seconds. Playwright cannot find the element, then that's it. Playwright throws exception, timeout error, and test fails. So we say, Playwright, please click on this button by this locator. If Playwright cannot find this button on the page within 5 seconds, Playwright throws an error. So let's see in more details what this means. So let's say we tell Playwright, click on this element. And what Playwright actually checks? Playwright, first it checks that element is attached to the DOM tree, so it's like in HTML. Then Playwright checks that element is visible, meaning it's not hidden. Then third, Playwright checks that element is stable. Stable meaning it's not moving, it's not animating on the page. Element is stable. Then Playwright checks that element receives events. So this one is a bit more complicated. If you remember, on the previous video I was telling you that if Playwright sees that some other element overlays like the button that we want to click on, so let's say we want to click on this button, and some other element overlays our button, then Playwright would throw a timeout error that it could not click the button that is kind of overlaid by another component. So yeah, and then Playwright checks that element is enabled. So some buttons can have disabled attribute, and Playwright also checks for that. So this is checking for actionability. If we want to click something, Playwright checks that it's actionable. Then the same goes for the checkboxes. When we call check method, let's see what we have for fill. Fill is for inputs, right? So when we say Playwright, fill this input by the specific locator, then Playwright checks that this element, this input, is attached to the DOM. It's in DOM tree. Then it checks for visibility, that this element is visible, not hidden. Then it checks that this input is enabled, so input can be disabled, and then user cannot type anything in there. So Playwright checks for enabled and then editable. Let's go back, editable. So Playwright checks that element is editable. So some inputs might not be editable. And if one of these conditions did not satisfy, then Playwright throws timeout exception, and that's it, test fails. And you can find other actions that you might do with the elements, and yeah, each of them have specific checks for actionability. So this is really important, because sometimes you might think like, okay, I see this button on the page. Let's say we are doing some click. I see this button on the page, but Playwright throws some error. And this might mean that some element overlays this button. So you might have some overlay, like let's say some model opens on the page. Yeah, you can have the following behavior. Let's say this is your page. You might have some model opened, like here you might have OK, and here you, yeah, just some text. And here you might have some button order, and you want to click on this button. you say Playwright, please click on the button order. And then Playwright throws exception, like Playwright couldn't do the click. And you're thinking like, what's going on? Here's the button. But in HTML, actually this component might be taking the whole page. So this might be an overlay. So this model might be an overlay for the whole page. And in order to click on this button, you either have to close this one, close this model. So click on this model. Okay, we're clicking this model. This overlay hides. And then we can click on this button. And another option is to do the, let's see here in the docs, to do the force. We can do the force click. It looks like this. Let's just go to some test example. We can do the force click like this. So even if some elements overlays this button, so we have our button and some elements overlays our button, we can still do the force click. All right, so I think this should be enough for the follow-up, and yeah, as always, go to the official docs and read, and if you don't understand something, just read on the docs. All right, today we're gonna cover 4 topics. AAA Pattern, again we're gonna practice this, then test reports, we're gonna review the options for test reports, then we're gonna do the test running and test recording. Moving on. So, important topic. I already mentioned this on the previous videos, like you shouldn't care much about some small optimizations, premature optimizations. What you do have to care about is what to automate and how to make your tests stable. And today let's talk about what you have to automate on the website. So these are the criteria that I usually choose when I decide to automate something. So first I think about what is business critical functionality. Where do our users go? What is like the critical path for the program, for the website? And what brings money? For example, currently I'm working on a medical project, which is basically a chat with the questions, and then user can schedule a visit with a doctor. So this is the critical path. User goes through some questionnaires in the chat, then gets to the scheduler, and then can schedule live visit with the chat, and then actually chat with the doctor. So this is the critical path. This is what brings the company money. Then regression suite. Regression suite is something that is repetitive. Something that you have to test before each release manually. So our QA team does some repetitive testing before each release to production, and it takes a lot of time. So yeah, it's always good to automate the regression suite, the repetitive test cases. Then it's always good to automate some time-consuming tasks. For example, you have to test something which takes couple of hours, and you have to sit and wait for something. Then it's good to write some auto test that will do this for you. You can basically automate any time, anything you do manually, and that's repetitive. Then I also want to mention that you have to automate stable functionality. So usually when functionality is under development, then a lot of things change. They change rapidly, they change unexpectedly, and your tests would fail again and again. So I suggest you to automate some stable business critical functionality. Like, yeah, we'll talk about stability of the tests later today on, I think, somewhere on this slide. Yeah. But just remember, if something changes often, then maybe it's not a good option to automate it, because your test would fail again and again, and you would have to go and fix it like every time something changes on the page. All right, I think that was clear. And again, you learn all this by experience. So I don't expect you to understand all this like right away. So you learn this by experience. Now let's talk about what we're gonna automate today. So I already shown you this website before. So this is a simple website. It has some products here. It has some navigation, like our story, just some information about this website, contact with the contact form, which unfortunately doesn't work. Then we have the footer with navigation, and then here the main part is the products. And when we click on one of the products, we're able to see the details, the price, and we can add it to cart. We can add it to cart, and yeah, we can remove it from the cart, add it to cart again. Like we can change the sizes here, the color, quantity, and we can go to the checkout. Boom, checkout, billing info, yeah. And complete the payment. All right, so this is a simple website. I decided to go with the simple one for now, and closer to lesson number, I don't know, 20, I'll choose something complex. So when you get more experience, and yeah, it will be easier for you to understand. So right now, today, we're gonna focus on this one. So we'll start with the simple one. So let's automate. Let's talk about what do we have. We have homepage with the products. We have contact us form, and page we have about us or our story page. Then we have products list. Then we have page with product details. Then we have cart. Then we have what do we have? Payment form. And then we can do the order, like do the order. So this goes together. And then we have the footer. Let's say we have navigation. Okay, so that's all we have on this website. Right now I'm deciding what we're gonna automate now. Again, as I told you, the most important things are these: products list, product details, cart, payment form, and doing the order. So these are the most important ones. But we're gonna start with the simple: navigation, contact form, etc. All right. Yeah, so doing the live demo, let me remind you that we already have this project explorer. Let's see, we have package.json log. Okay, on previous video I updated the Playwright. Now let's actually commit this. Let's commit this, git status, branch up to date with origin main. Wait a minute. Let me open. Yeah, I think I'm in the wrong terminal. Okay, let me open new terminal. New terminal. Git status. Yep, here are two files. Let me add them. Git add all. Then git commit. Come on. Commit message. I'll do this. Depths, dependencies, update Playwright to 140.0. Okay, done. And let me push this. Git push. Okay, git status. Now we have a clean project. And let's jump right into it. Let's record some tests. Reminding you of this extension. Record new. Okay, recording new test. So Playwright starts a browser for me. Perfect. I will copy this one. I don't know, I think I'll just move fast and show you everything. product details. Now we want to go to this website first. So this website, now let's automate the navigation. Let's click here, and let's, here Playwright added cool feature, like we can add assertions now. Assert visibility. So I'm asserting visibility of this element. Now I'm clicking on contact. I'm asserting visibility of this element. Now I'm clicking back on products. I'm asserting visibility of this element. And now let me just click again on contact. And now this one for, and assert visibility of this element. All right, what do we have in the tests? Boom, here is the test. All right, let's quickly modify it. Okay, I will stop the recording. Let's quickly modify it. So we don't need to navigate here. We just need to go to this website. Let's call this test navigation. Top navigation should navigate to our story. Okay, it should navigate to our story. It should navigate to contact, then should navigate to products, and then should navigate to, where else do we want to navigate? It should navigate to products when clicking on logo. All right, let's edit each of these. So should navigate to our story. Let's see, AAA pattern, you remember? So preparing the test, going to some website, doing the click on navigation, our story, and doing the assertion to be visible. Boom, one test done. Then contact form. We don't need these two anymore, so we're clicking on contact, and then we expect the get in touch to be visible. So number 2, done. Then we expect to navigate to products. So let's say first we clicked on our story, then we click on products in navigation, and then we remove all this, and then we expect to see the products header here. Okay, we don't need this. So arrange, we navigate to the website, then act, we click on some links. Actually we can, I think let's do it this way. And then we expect to see this header after clicking on products. All right, and the same for the logo. Let's say we go to the contact form, and then we click on the link for, so this is our logo. Then we click on the logo, and then we expect this header to be visible. So this should be enough for navigation. And you see, we always kept this AAA pattern. A small improvement for each of these tests. You see, in each of these tests, we had to navigate to this website, which I think is like not the best idea. I think it's better to avoid duplication and do the following test before each, and then we'll do navigation here. Oh, okay, it was suggesting. Wait, go to, yep, that works, perfect. And now we can remove all this. So before each, we'll execute before each of these tests. Before each of these tests. 1, 2. So we are removing the preparation, the arrange section of the test. We are moving this to before each. So before each, it will navigate to this page and then do the navigation. And you see that each test is independent. So I can run each of these tests and they should pass. So we don't make the tests dependent on each other. So we don't expect this one to be executed before this one. So we always like start from the clean page. We just navigate to the page before each test and do our actions, do our assertions, and we have small beautiful tests. All right, saving the file, running the prettier. Cool. Let's move on. Let's now create more tests. Record new. All right, recording new, our website. 1, 2, 3. Okay, again, navigated to the wrong page. Demo. Let me go here and back. Yep. Okay, here's the test. What do we want to home? Home. It's actually products. It's our products page. So let's test the products page. So we navigated to this page. Now what do we want to do? We want to check that we have this list of elements. This list of elements, let's say we want to check that we have, yeah, this one. No, we don't want to click on this one. We want to check that it's visible. So I'm clicking on this, then again clicking on this. 3, 4. Oh, it navigates again. So I just want to check that these are visible. We see here it says assert visibility. Assert visibility. So I'm checking that these elements exist. And now I want to check. Yeah, okay, let me check also these elements. 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I love the order in which I went through this, but doesn't matter. Okay, and I also want to check that the prices are visible. I want to check that the prices are visible. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the images. Why I can't choose the images? Okay, I can choose the image. Not the best locator, but yeah, that should work. 3. Oh, it's so time consuming. I bet they will introduce some shortcuts for this in the future. I really hope so. Okay, so that should be enough. Yeah, and let's actually, we don't have this one. Let's evaluate that we have this subtitle. Okay, this should be enough. Stopping the recording, going to the test. Ooh, there's a lot. Okay, I want to move this one, the subtitle check here. Where do we have our story? Get to the products. Yeah, so we are getting to the products, and I also want to check the subtitle, right? So I'm checking the title of the page and the subtitle too. Okay, saving, done. Now here, what do I want to check? Products list. Products list has products with image, then price, title, image, price, title, what else? Color. Yeah. Now removing this one. So I'm going to this website. Clicks, I don't need the clicks, so I just, ouch. So I just want to check the visibility of elements. I don't want the clicks. Do I have any more clicks here? No, fortunately I don't have. All right, so I'm navigating to this page. Actually, let's do this in test before all. Before all is similar to before each, but before each executes before each test here, before each test function here, and before all executes before all tests that we have in this file. async page. Yeah, then go here. Yep. Okay, that works. Ooch, prettier. Okay, and yeah, let's see the titles. We have the titles. We can actually split these tests, but we'll see what we'll do now. Okay, the titles by role, then by role, then by paragraph. It was checking something. Then styles. What was that? Styles first. Oh, these were the images, right? Images. These were, yeah, you see, the locators don't tell me what these are. So these were probably prices. Then these were titles. And I don't remember what these were. Okay, let's check. Oh, I think these were the colors. Let's check the locators. Has text by role link. Yeah. Okay, by role link, so all this, yeah, I didn't check for the colors. Okay, so color picker will have to rewrite this. Okay, color. Let me write it down here. Color picker. Okay, and maybe I want to, do I want to? Yes, I want to split this test. I don't like this one, so I'm gonna split it. Let's see. So first we have titles, then prices, then here I'm removing titles and images, and here I remove prices and titles with images. All right, that should work. So here I'm checking the prices, the images. No, these are titles. Okay, and then I want to check the color picker, but that's for later. Okay, saving this one. Wow, what prettier does. Okay, let's see. Product list has products with titles. So this test file navigates to the page, then products list has products with titles. So it checks that the page has these 6 titles. So these 6 products. Then we check that products have prices, paragraph, to be visible. So this is the paragraph with the price, I suppose. Yep, so it checks the prices, and then what? Then it checks the images by class. Yeah, like not the best selector, but yeah, we can live with this for now. For now, we can live with this. We'll talk about test stability in the next slide. So maybe, I don't know, in 15 minutes, okay? We'll rework these selectors because I don't like this. We'll talk about test stability and rework this. Okay, so this should be enough for this page. Actually, color picker, we can forget about it for now. All right, so this should be enough. Then let's go again. Record new, recording. What's the next on our list? Contact us. Easy. Let's go to contact us form. So going to contact us. Now send us a message. Let's type some text here. What do we want to type? Ilarion, then email address Halushka, then I have a problem. And then we want to click on this one. We want to send a message. Get in touch. Yeah, let's actually also evaluate these titles. 1, 2, then this map thing, this locator. You see, I'm choosing the best locator. So I don't like these locators. I don't like this locator that it shows, but I like this one. Locator contact details. You see on the bottom. On the bottom here, locator contact details. All right, so I'm choosing this one. And now I will actually send the message. Oh, it says that there's an error. All right, it should be an email address, gmail.com. Okay, now send message. And now I assert that this one appears. Actually, like, this contact form is not implemented on this website, so this is fine. So we think that this is like success message. Okay. All right, and that's it. And contact success. Let's also copy this one, contact success. So we will assert that this URL, that it navigated to this URL after we send the message, submitted the form. All right, and here also we'll check for this one. So let's see what kind of test we have. Contact form. Submit contact form navigates to success page. Okay, again, navigating to the website. I prefer doing this here. Before all. Yep, let's go to this website. Okay, now we click on the contact form. Let's also do this in before all. So we are kind of preparing the test. So we are navigating to that page. Then we enter your email, enter message, get in touch. Where's the entering of the name? That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, let's try again. Full name, Ilarion. Contact us, enter your name. Okay, for some reason it didn't record the enter your name, so let's copy this. So first we click on enter your name, or we can just fill it like this. We can fill this input. Yeah, but yeah, whatever. We can click on the input and then fill it on, or we can just fill the input. So enter your name, Ilarion, enter your email, Halushka. Then we fix this later here. Boom. Then Ilarion Halushka, then fill send the message, I have a problem. All right. Heading get in touch. Heading get in touch. Okay, this one I want to check this separately. To be visible, contact details, click contact details. Send message. Okay. These three I want to check something else here. So I'm filling the form, then clicking on the button. Once clicking on the button, and then I expect page URL, page URL to be success. So we are taking the page URL and we are expecting this to be success. Expect to have to contain. Let's make it this way. It will be more stable like this. Okay, we are expecting URL to contain contact success route. Remember, after clicking on this button, we are navigated to this contact success route. All right, message click again. Okay, it's still recording. I'll close this one. Okay, close them. So here's the test. Submit contact form navigates to success page. We are filling the inputs and we do the click. So this is action. This is preparation, and before all, navigating to the page, and then go into this contact form. Actually, let's do it this way. Contact. We already tested the navigation, right? Why do we want to do this again? Contact. We want to navigate here. Yeah, let's navigate directly to this page. So prepare the test, then we do the actions, and then we do the assertion. We do the check. We check that contact success for URL is present, like it navigated to this URL. Okay, so this is enough for this test, and also I want to check has contact details. Yep, also I want to check these three. So here I was submitting the form, and here I just wanted to check that on this page we have these elements, like send us a message, this element, then we have the Google Maps, and then we have the get in touch header. Contact page has header, form title. Actually, we can do it both ways. We can write one small test for each of these, or yeah, let's write one small test. Contact page has header, so get in touch is the header. Then contact page has form title. Form title is this one, form title. Okay, so checking this one. And then it should have this map component. So this map, locator contact details, has a map. Contact details, let's try to find a better locator for this one. Contact details, first div filter. Okay, let's go to the Google, to the Chrome console. I'll zoom in a little bit. So here we should have the content, div, container, form action, contact details, and here we have the Google Maps. Here we have the Google Maps. I just want to find some nice selector for this one. Draggable force, keyboard shortcuts. No, not this one. Google Maps style, position absolute. Contact details. Yeah, let's go with contact details and then class map. Okay, ID map. That's even better. IDs are always better than classes. Let's go with the ID. Ouch. So map. Okay, so we are locating this element by ID map, and we want to check that it's visible, right? We don't want to click on it, we want to check that it's visible. And this one the same. And we want to wrap it in expect, like this. Okay, that's funny during the video. Ignore limit for the day. Ignore limit. Yeah, I just have the limits for the apps, so I don't work too late. Yeah, and even keynote, nice. So the tip of the day, set limits to the apps, to your PC and your phone, so you don't work at nights. Okay, where were we? Expect, so I have to fix this expect. Okay, expect this element to be visible, perfect. Then I want to do the same here. Await expect this element to be visible. Okay, saving the file. So now I have this before all. Before all, it navigates to this page, contact page. Then I check that contact page has header. Has a header, has a form title, has a map. So I'm checking these elements separately. So one check per test. And then I actually submit the form. submit the form, and I expect that it navigates to the right page. Okay, so this is test number 3. Let's check this in Explorer. Let me actually create new folder here. Shop. I'll call it shop, or e-commerce website. No, just for store. Okay, and I'll move all these 3 tests here. 1. Yeah, I'm sure I want to move it. 1, 2, 3. And let's rename this. Top navigation. Just hit enter on this one. Remember that we have to keep this postfix spec. Navigation. I'll call it top navigation. Then second one was about products list. So products list. Then third one is about contact form. Contact form. Actually, some people prefer to call them like contact form, but I don't know, for readability I think it's better, don't forget the spec, it's better to name the tests in this way, like with the dashes in between. I know I named these two like in camel case, but I don't know, I just feel like these are more readable. Yeah, and again, don't forget to spec, add the spec postfix. Okay, this looks good. So these are the tests for our first store. Contact form, products, top navigation. Perfect. And let's try to run this. Opening the terminal. 1, 2. npx Playwright test. What test do we have? For store. And let's open this in UI mode. Here's our beautiful UI mode. Let me close the recording. Okay, here's UI mode. Beautiful. Let's try to run this test. Contact form. Fixture context. It failed, and where did it fail? Context and page fixtures are not supported in before all per test basis. Okay, that's fine. Browser new context. Do we really have to do this? Wow. All right. So if it says this doesn't work this way, then let's do it the following way. Browser new context, then page, context new page, and then page go to this website. Okay, let's try it this way, saving the test. Let me run this contact form. Yep. Okay, it doesn't work. Why it doesn't work? Because I have to give it the page, like yeah, I knew it that if I would show you this before all, it would not work somewhere. Okay, then let me declare the page. So this is the page, and then I'll assign it here, the page, and then here I will use the same page in all the tests. In all the tests I'll use the same page. Okay, saving it, running. Okay, all 3 passed. Okay, so in order to like have this before all hook, we have to do this kind of magic. We'll talk about this a bit later. Honestly, I didn't want you to show all this before the next videos, because we'll have a more like in-depth video on the browser context, on browsers, context, and pages, and how to like create multiple browsers in the same test, multiple tests, context, what are these. Yeah, but for now just go ahead and copy this, and this before all hooks will work. So let me copy these two other tests. Here, remember, we navigated just to the main page, and we have to declare the page itself. Okay, that should work. And here we have to kind of use this page that we declared. So we declared this page here, and that means we should remove it from here, so it's not like passed to the each test. We'll reuse the same page. Okay, that should work, and same thing in the third test. Yeah, but here we have beforeEach. So every time it navigates to the home page and it's clean page, tests don't depend on each other, everything's great. Again, here removing the page, the comma. Perfect. Now let's try to run these tests. Products list spec. Okay, all passed. Okay, here also all passed. Perfect. Let's try to run all at once. Yep, everything passed. Okay. 1, 2, 3, we have 3 things covered. Then about us. Similar, very easy. Let's go. I'll do it real quick. Record at cursor. No, not at cursor. Wait, killing this one. Record new. Recording. Going to the website where I have the URL. Boom. Our story. So it's about, okay, about URL. Here we have the heading. No, wait, I want to do it this way. Then we have this component. In this component, we have this image. This one. Then we have here this one. 1, 2, 3. And then, yeah, let's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, misclicked. 6. Okay, so remember, this one adds the assertions that element is visible on the page. This one will assert text, and this one will assert value. So we just want to check for visibility. We don't want to check for exact text. So if we wanted to check for exact text in the like text components, then we will choose this one. But I will just go with the visibility. All right, back to the test. What do we have? Ivarion. Let's copy this before all thing. Okay, going to this website. Then the page, we don't need the page. Navigation get by role, we don't need get by role, but you remember that URL is this one. For this page, URL is about, like the path is about. Okay, now we are checking that we have the heading to be visible. It's here, our story to be visible. Then this one, this is the component for Alexander. Okay, this one get by text, then this 1, 2, 3, then passion 1, 2, 3, name style, style. Yeah, here I misclicked. Then we have these 3. Okay, let's write it this way. Our story page has a heading. So removing all this, and heading is our story to be visible. Then we want to check, what is this? The avatars. has avatars of employees, or I don't know, avatars of employees or personnel, and we will check these two. So copying this, let's check these two. Our story page has what? Passion, animal. How do we call these three elements? That's hard. I don't know. Let's call them paragraphs. Some paragraphs or motivation. Motivation paragraph. Motivation paragraphs. Okay, we checked this in the previous one. And these are the motivation paragraphs. Get by text. We like to keep things plain. Okay. So our story page, blah blah blah. So has heading, has avatars of employees, avatars and employee names, and then has motivation paragraphs. Motivation, yeah. Let's leave it this way. All right. Now go in here, putting our test into the folder, renaming the test, our story page. Okay, yeah, here we have this test. Now let's go to the UI mode. UI mode, can we refresh here? Yep, I just refreshed the list of tests, and now I have this, our story page spec. Let's run it. Okay, that works. So now we have 4 test files, each one containing a few simple tests. Okay, so we covered this one, 1, 2, 3. Products list is basically the same thing. Navigation, so this is top navigation, and footer, and we can have footer navigation. All right, so I'll leave this one to homework, then this navigation, footer navigation, also homework. Checking what's in the footer, also homework. By the way, let's check what we have in the footer. Like, as custom homework, I want you to check that this year matches the current year. So all rights reserved, 2023. I want you to check that this year matches the current year. How do you do this? You can do this with JavaScript. You can get text of this element, with Playwright, and then do expect, like, use some JavaScript to get the current year and compare the current year with the text that you got from this element. All right, so homework, and now let's do the, let's make an order. Let's record the test for an order. Okay, let me do the following. I'll just restart, record new. Again, here I have the URL. So I'm doing the end-to-end flow. I'm navigating to this page with the product details. Now I'm adding this product to the cart. So I'm doing just the positive case. Now let's say I'm changing the size, small, color green, then quantity to 3. Then I go to checkout, full name Hilarion, email hilarion@gmail.com, then street address Washington Street, Brooklyn. Yep, that should work. Then apartment suite 123, city. Okay, here no autocomplete. This field is required. United States. Okay, it did this for us. Continue to payment. Okay, I think there is some bug here because this input is already filled and it still shows the validation error. Yeah, but we can continue. Okay, we continue here. Card number 424242. Then month 12/30, 123, place order. Yep, that's it. And now we want to validate that we have this success page. So I'm clicking this for visibility. Thank you for your order. Then card summary, billing, payment, total, subtotal. I'll evaluate these two. Get by text $. 1, 2. Okay, this should be enough. So we can write a separate test, like testing this page, checking the values and all these components. Yeah, but for now this should be enough. And let's see this test. Let's see this test. Yep, there's a lot. There's a lot. Again, let's do the navigation in before all. We don't need to pass the page here. Okay, we'll do navigation to the main page. So go to, then link, then we click on some product. All right, we clicked on the product, we added it to cart. Add to cart. I'm just adding this for visibility. Then change cart options, where we were changing the size, color, incrementing quantity. Click checkout, then fill out payment details form, then payment details form, email, Washington, apartment, city, continue to payment, submit payment, and then card number, submit payment, then fill out payment details, card payment, card details, then fill card details, then what, card details, then place order. Yeah, I'm just adding this for better readability for you, because this is a long test, like 50 lines long. And then validate assert order details, success screen, assert order details. Okay, I did the clicks here, but yeah, I actually wanted to check for visibility of these elements. 1, 2, 3. I just forgot to click on that element. Place order, blah blah blah. Thank you for your order. Okay, this one also goes here to be visible. Perfect. Now again, adding some spaces in between, just for better readability. Again, what we did was we added product to the cart, changed cart options, click checkout, fill out payment details form, submit the payment, submit, payment details form, fill cart details, then place order, success screen. Okay, this is a long test. Such tests are usually called workflow tests or business something test. I don't remember. Yeah, so workflow is like end-to-end workflow of everything that user does, from adding the product to the cart to completing the order. So this is the end-to-end test. Now let's move it here. For store, enter, create order. Yep. Create an order. We can add actually more detail. Create order should display order success page. Should display success page with order details. Okay. And now let's go to UI mode. Here, click and refresh. Where is create order? Create order. Let's try to run this one. Hope it works. If it doesn't, then it's even better. We'll try to debug this together and fix this test. Actually, I hope it doesn't work somewhere and we'll have to debug and try to fix it. Because this is called experience, what I'm always telling you. This is called experience. Okay, what happens here? I bet it will throw timeout error somewhere, but we'll see. Okay, what happened? So it was able, right? It was able to add product to the cart. It was filling out these details. Washington Street, apartment, suite. Now city. Continue the payment. Yeah, country. It didn't like autofill the country. And that's fine. That's fine. I think it takes a few seconds until this autofills the country here in this input. So first we enter the street, and then it takes few seconds like to make some requests to backend, to Google Maps somewhere, and to check which country this is. Street address, and it should have autofilled the country, but it didn't. So it clicked on this one until anything appeared here and saved for zip code. So one option we can do is, okay, let's try to find here in the test the Washington. Yep, with the capital. All right, and after we fill out the Washington Street, we choose it in the drop down, then we can do, this is dirty fix. We do the dirty fix. Await page, what was that? Wait for seconds. Wait for timeout. Okay, so this is dirty fix. Dirty fix. Sometimes you might want to do this, and in the beginning you might want to do this, but yeah, we will see the better way to fix this test. Okay, let's try to run it this way. Create order. Okay, let's go again. Let's go again. UI mode. Okay, it failed. Where did it fail? Okay, now it failed somewhere over here. Expected element to be visible is not a function. Okay, I know what this one is about. Yeah, but you see here when we added this wait for timeout here, it actually autofilled the country. So see, now we have the country here. At this point we didn't have the country in this input. Then we selected the street, we clicked on this street, and then we waited for 5 seconds here, and then we see that we have the country after these 5 seconds. So we did some requests and like waited for this to appear. Okay, while this one worked, waiting for 5 seconds worked, it's not a perfect solution because sometimes it might take like 1 second, sometimes it might take 100 milliseconds to autofill the country, and we don't want to always wait for 5 seconds. Alright, so what can we do instead? Instead, let's check what's in the background. Let's go to the website, to the network, some product, add to cart. Alright, check out. And now let's see what network requests are sent. So first, let's go again as in our test. Washington Street. We see some requests are sent to backend. Some requests are sent to backend, and now let's clean this. And now let's select the Washington Street as we do in the tests. Okay, so I'm selecting this one and see what happens. In order to autofill the country, it first sends some backend request, some URL. What is the request? Let's see. So this one is options, not relevant, and this one is get. So this is a get request to some API. I'll do it the way I prefer. Okay. Can I hide this one? Don't remember how to hide it. Alright, so what do we see here? The get request to some API, and what's in response? In response we have full address, Washington Street, we have province New York, country US. So it says which country this street is located in. Alright, so after we selected the street, it makes request to backend, and backend replies with the country code, and then it kind of automatically sets the country here in this input, and province state, also we have province New York. Alright, so seems like after we select the street here, we have to wait for this request to complete. We have to wait for this request to complete, and how do we do that? Let's copy here the path, going back to the test, and now let's proper fix. Wait for backend request to finish. Alright, and for that we have page waitForResponse method, and okay, Playwright suggests something here. Response URL includes, we want it to include these addresses, and yeah, that should work. So response includes, response URL is this one, and status 200, and we might also check the response method. Yeah, response method get. So should be here 200 and method get. Let's check here. Headers, yeah, this URL 200 and method get. Okay, let's try to run this. So again, we select the street, and then we wait for backend to process this street and return us which country and which state this street is in, and then we continue the test. All right, saving this and going back to UI mode. Let's run this test again. All right, it failed. And where did it fail? Okay, it failed when it completed the order. So let's see what happened here. So here we selected the street. It started, this triggered the request to backend. So request goes, then we say we wait for response. So we're waiting for response. After a response is complete, it automatically autofills these fields, 1, 2, and zip code also. And then we set the apartment, and then we set the city. Beautiful. And then we click on the button, fill everything else. Okay, so this fix worked. What failed? What failed is here. Thank you. Thank you for your order. Let's go back. So we completed the order. To be visible. Yeah, this doesn't work because I forgot to add expect here. That's fine. Card summary, thank you for your order. Yeah, let's add these. 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me close here to be visible. So this is the element. Get by text and th to be visible. All right, saving. Let's run the test again. Or did it fail on this one? We'll see. Okay, what was that? Everything worked? Really? Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so this should be fine. I'll remove this dirty fix. So we waited for some response from backend here. All right, and now create order spec. Okay, this one works. Also, I have to show you that here for page, we have to specify the type page. The type page, so we have a better autocomplete from TypeScript. Boom, page, and here also page. Yeah, don't forget that we have to import it from Playwright library. Page, 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 and here also page. Perfect. Okay, what else? So we just wrote 5 tests. Where's the card? Okay, we kind of tested card, like just one positive case, then payment form, then order. I'm just wondering, should I improve this test? No, I think I'll leave this test as is. So this will be a big test. This is like, it's not yet perfect, but this should be enough for now. This is called the workflow test. Like from the beginning till the end, we are checking everything. All right, now let's see. So we have the structure, that's cool. Now let's talk about test. These are for homework. Okay, now let's talk about test stability. So you see that this test for creating an order, it sometimes fails randomly. So it failed on some billing info. Let's try to run it again. Maybe it will fail on somewhere else. So why this happens? This usually happens because something changes on the page. For example, some text changes. The front-end developers update the text on the page and something changes. And your tests fail because your tests, they rely on some text. they rely on some text. These are labels, 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 but here is some text. Continue to payment button with this name, so this might change. Let me tell you an example from the current feature that I'm working on at work. So we have this page. Where is the Chrome? Yeah, I'll just go to Excalibur.io. Come on, I misspelled it. Excalibur. So currently I'm working on this page. It's called Scheduler. Scheduler, where user selects when they want to talk to the doctor. And here we have some doctor info, another doctor, and on the bottom we have a button called schedule. And every 2 weeks the product managers rename this button. First they wanted it to be called schedule. Now it's called select. Now tomorrow they might want to change it to confirm. So, and this is a real example from the project that I'm working on. So the text changes. The text is not something we want to rely on. So you might be asking like, okay, Laran, if not the text, then what should we locate the elements by? In my opinion, you should rely on IDs of the elements if you have those, or test IDs of the elements if you have them. And if you don't have, then okay, you can try to rely on text, but keep in mind that text changes often. So it's better to locate elements by class, ID, test ID, or label, or accessibility role, something like that. All right, so about test stability, and also don't rely on complex locators like these locators here. Get by text $, and th2. So this is not a perfect locator. This is not a perfect locator because we can have many elements which start with the $, right? So we don't understand which element this one is. Get element by text $. Okay, what is this one? What is this one? We can have, I don't know, 10 elements then that have $, like, and test would fail. If we add one more here, if we add one more element with the $sign on the page, then these locators flaky. They failed the test. That's it. You have to rewrite these locators. What else do we have here? What I don't like? Get by label. Labels also can change easily. So it can be full name, then tomorrow they might split it to just name, or they can name it name. Get by label street address. Yeah, tomorrow it might be just a street. So also not the best thing to rely on this label. Yeah, but that's fine. It's better to keep like simple locators and don't rely on the exact text. But if you don't have other options, then I suggest you to rely on the text. And if you don't have the text, anything, the last thing you want to do is write complex locator, long complex locator. Okay, but this is the topic that we will discuss many times in the next videos. So this is one of the important ones, how to make tests stable. And tests from real project, AAA Pattern. Let me actually show this one to you. So here I have the WebStorm, my favorite IDE. And let me show you some real tests that are written not in Playwright. They are written for mobile app and using Detox framework. So imagine, completely different world. It's mobile app. Completely different framework. It's Detox, not Playwright. But it's same principle. So let's see here the sign-in spec. So here I have the test. Test is called sign-in. Before each test, I reload React Native, so I kind of restart the app. Just imagine that every time I restart the app. The same thing we did like with navigating to the page on the web. So before each test, I restart the app. Then the test name should show error when invalid password. So I'm filling the element by ID email input. I replace text, so I kind of insert text in the input. String 1, then password input. I replace text 1 to, with the for the password. Then I click on the button. On the mobile, it's called tap. I tap on the button, and then I wait for text to be visible. So I wait for text to be visible, and that's it. So I prepare the test in beforeEach. I restart the app. Then I go to, I fill the inputs. I click the button. I expect that I have validation error. Then should validate input. Same. 1, 2. I click on the button. It says like email format is invalid. So wait for this. Navigate to sign up and back. Element by ID go to sign in button. I tap go to sign in. Then sign in go to sign up. Like I navigate back to sign up. Sign up go to sign in. Yeah, and I expect that element by ID sign in form to be visible. Should sign in with valid credentials. Yeah, and the last test I have here that it should sign in with valid credentials. So first I navigate to sign in form, then I fill one input, second input, and then I click on the button sign in. And that's it, and I expect element by ID home container to be visible. That's it. The tests look the same. So that's what I'm trying to teach you. Playwright is just a tool, but the concepts like AAA pattern, like grouping the tests like this, making the tests small, readable, it's everywhere. Like locating the elements, doing some actions, it's everywhere, it's the same. So you have to know the basics, and you will be able to write in any framework, any tool, whatever comes next after Playwright, doesn't matter. Let me also show you the elements, so how this looks like in the code. So in the code I have this form. I have this form, test ID sign in form. So this is sign in form. This is like React Native code, but it's pretty similar to HTML. So it has some tags, each tag has some attributes. So this is the form. Imagine it's a div in HTML, like some div with test ID sign in form. And inside of it, I have some titles, title, subtitle, some text, like up title, then welcome subtitle. Then I have form text input. So this is the input for email, placeholder email, then the value, blah, 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 keyboard type email address, and test ID email input. And in the tests, I locate this element by test ID. So I say element by ID email input. Then the same for password. For password, I also have this test ID password input. All right, let me show you another test. Let's say this one with the drawer. Drawer is something that opens like you click on the button, the menu, and then menu moves like this. I don't know, the drawer. So what do I have here? Before all, I have login. So I have some login method to login into the app. Then element by ID left menu button tap. So I tap on the menu in the left upper corner. Then I expect drawer content to be visible. Like I expect the container to be visible, then I expect the drawer name to be visible, drawer email, and then I expect element by avatar. I expect the avatar to be visible. And then another test should open drawer. Element by ID drawer content swipe left. Okay, so and I also have like two options to open drawer. One is to click on the button and the menu appears, and another option is just to swipe left. I swipe left and the menu appears on the screen. So this is what this test is for. So I swipe left and I expect the element not to be visible. Okay, actually I think I'm closing the drawer here. Should close drawer, yeah. So this one is about opening and this one is closing. So I have the menu open and then I can swipe left and it disappears from the screen, not to be visible. All right. Yeah, so I will be showing you some examples of the tests from the projects that I worked on, so you see how this looks in real life, because here we were just writing some tests for kind of simple website, which is some demo website that I found. But yeah, I will show you more complex examples as we increase the complexity step by step in this course, okay? Okay, I'm happy to say that today we again covered the AAA pattern. We were practicing recording tests and running tests in UI mode. Test reports will get there later, not today. And that's it for now. So again, write tests using AAA pattern. Try to go and complete this. This should be pretty similar, like product details, screen, and footer navigation tests. Try to write this. Or just go choose any website that might be the one that you're currently working on and try to automate something there. Use the AAA pattern, prepare, like arrange, act, assert. Okay, coming next, code debugging and trace viewer. We will see how to debug tests in VS Code. We will see how to debug tests using Playwright debugger options. Yeah, so debugging is simply like finding the root cause why the test failed and actually fixing it. So debugging, finding the bug in the test. Okay, as always, reminding you, JavaScript. Today we did some manipulations with JavaScript. Let's see. Yeah, here. So we declared some variable. We declared a variable, then we assigned this variable here in before all, and then we use this variable here inside of each test. So this is already JavaScript. These are the basics. You have to know the basics. If you don't know the basics, don't expect yourself to become automation engineer if you just know how to click on the recorder and record some test. This is not gonna work. Trust me, not gonna work. Don't even try to jump into automation without knowing any JavaScript. Know your tools. All right, that was it. I'm really tired. 2 hour lesson done. So like, share, subscribe. And as always, see you in the next one. Bye.